Ebusiafo ya mamu nyina kwa ba high Alpha OneTV. So on subscribe my abomodian so subscribe my sene be niema do a thing so better no. Ha on sabe ko so aka ni nyina. Just say nko bia we are no share I like ya manu aso heading insa Cṛięs so den fie ni chimni anka de won chirme. Me-Manasseh Azure na sa ba bontin na nsema wo yi go na yensam ketwa. Yen nyina nim de ni latest expose a just what to din the president Ghana never had. I just say, or the expose Akufo-Addo from head to toe. And right now, no, in said during Mahama time, Me-Manasseh expose and this in Mahama pa and yasangitua. Be an okre, bisu and okre naso so the okain nina. And ne Me-Manasseh Azure about confirm say the life ankasa as we speaking is in danger. Onye save said ye chasing with air threatening messages. Bim creating me sending me say you are lucky you are still alive. Me-Manasseh Ďânеṛ ko Germany. Just say Sabra is speaking or confirm me say they are no see save under Mahama no campo exposing the more no. They are no see save under Mahama no. Mahama crying every no. Ana Akufo-Addo gina opposition eka se niema ye journalist for enye papa na so no ono no buy crampo de nye then Akufo-Addo de Me-Manasseh Azure speaker money life in ese kamuni konkuti no.
Press freedom rankings by Reporters Without Borders, they would realize that Ghana jumped, I think 2021 from a position of 30 to 60, then we moved to 62, and then I think this year we are heading to 50, which is still too far away from where we used to be. Ghana used to be between the 20s. 30 was like the very top. So we have a problem, and some of us have lived the reality, I think.
So are you saying that for the past 8 years, you are afraid, or you've been afraid of, and for your life?
Yes, I reported my first death threat to the police in 2017. That was when it started. And I think in the book which you talk about, I recounted how in 2016, when I did a story on the fourth saga, Dr. Edward Omanibuama, who was then the communications minister, yes, called me at night and offered me police protection. And I said no. I thanked him and said I was okay. But I couldn't say no when the National Security Minister, Kandapa, offered me police protection in 2020. I have had to go out of Ghana on 2 occasions. I think the first one, I went to South Africa. It was very well, some people publicized it.
Correct.
But I also had to go to Germany.
Also, after the 2020 episode,
yes,
you've had the chance to go out of the country for safety reasons?
Safety reasons to Germany, yes.
That's in 2020. Which year was this?
2020.
Same 2020?
Yes. And if people would recall, in 2020, during the election, I received a death threat through email. And then I reported to the police. Unfortunately, nothing came out of it. Anytime I reported, we are looking into it, and this is not just maybe some district police, the headquarters. I was put in touch with the CID head.
And nothing has been done about it.
You go, and then I think they said they had written to Google to provide them with certain details. It didn't come, and that was the end of it. And I was dealing with the head of cybersecurity at the police. And then I was still in Germany when I got a an email that sought to confirm the reason that I left the country. And it was very specific that you are lucky to still be alive. And if any confusion happens in this election, we will not hesitate to eliminate rats like you.
And Manasseh, even before you continue, why do you feel that it will come from the camp of the ruling government, that is the NPP? Can it be some hooligans, some miscreants, some bad people who are hiding?
I think I said within the period of the Akufo-Addo presidency, So since no one has been arrested, you cannot say exactly where it is coming from. But I'm given a certain period. And I have said it many times that the John Mahama era, I did investigations somewhere directly against him, like the Ford, Sada Jida,
right.
People close to him were involved and all of that. But the kind of danger and the fear for my life wasn't there as in the Akufo-Addo
It wasn't
era.
that pronounced as an compared to now.
Yes. And I am not alone.
Will you say on authority that you feel unsafe in Ghana now? Is that what it is?
That is a reality. And so bad was it that I haven't spoken about this. But there's a mental health dimension to it.
Wow.
So I had to go for therapy to a clinical psychologist. It was within that period that the therapist suggested that if I could take a short break. So I just returned from a 1-year fellowship at Harvard. Right. It was part of the break.
So you going for that fellowship in Harvard was all part of clearing up your mental fortitude and also mental health.
That is so.
You had never planned to go out there for further studies. You just wanted a break.
Yes. And even if the Harvard hadn't come, I would still have taken the break. And if you ask Suleiman Ibrahima, who has the Media Foundation for West Africa, you know, I was working for the Media Foundation.
You are no more working for them?
No, the Fourth Estate.
Okay.
So before I even applied for the Harvard Fellowship, I had mentioned to him, and he's aware that, okay, I had to take a break. So some of these things we haven't or I haven't spoken about them, but the reality is that things have not been easy, and I'm not alone. We know Ahmed Swale was threatened and killed. Nothing happened. We know a few journalists were picked up using the law of fake news, publishing false news, which President Akufo-Addo condemned in 2011. He delivered a speech in South Africa and condemned that law. But under his watch, that law has been used against Captain Smart. It's been used against Mensa Thompson of Asepa. It's been used against Bobi Ansa. You know, Mensa Thompson said that the president's family used the presidential jet to travel for shopping. The Ghana Armed Forces said it wasn't true, and he apologized publicly. But he was still arrested and charged for that statement. Then Bobi Ansa made allegations, and these are not substantiated, that the president's wife and perhaps I think the second lady were using their influence.
Don't you also think that they went overboard, attacking their person, speaking out, you know, about issues that they cannot validate?
I agree 100% with you. And Mensa Thompson's case actually wrote an article. He wasn't happy with me, but I said, well, you can't just make...
So then why would you blame the ruling government for it? Because clearly they also have to clear their names, especially when one cannot substantiate.
Since 2015 till 2023, I have been sued 9 times for defamation. 7 of them didn't go to trial. When I filed my defense, those who took me to court ran away. Only the Lighthouse cases gone to trial. And then recently, SML also sued. So in these 7 previous instances, when these people claimed that I didn't have the facts, if they had caused for my arrest, detention, and prosecution, I would have gone to cells or remand or whatever 7 times for nothing. So the point I'm making is that the Constitution of Ghana provides remedies to people who feel aggrieved. You can go to court and sue for defamation, and certain people have succeeded in their defamation suits against journalists. So if I tell lies about you and then you feel defamed, the law allows you to sue.
Right.
But if you have power and they get the police to arrest me, put me behind bars, after 2-3 days they charge me, I go to court, then after some time they discontinue because they don't have what it takes to sustain it.
You feel that is abuse of power?
I believe so. They're
not also exercising their fundamental human rights, and of course the right to also go out there and report, so that it will be investigated.
I'm talking about a law that the President of the Republic, when he was in opposition, said this is not the right law, it has been abused, then this person becomes president. That law is used against journalists and civil society actors who speak against his family members. On 2 of the occasions, the law was applied. So my point is, I don't side with some of the pronouncements, because you cannot just go on. Sometimes I cringe when I hear some of the people go on radio, television, and call certain people criminals, they are thieves, they are this, without any shred of evidence. That also undermines media freedom, because if you use the freedom irresponsibly, you are undermining media freedom. But the point is that law the best remedy to arrest someone? If we are to use that law, do you know the people who would be arrested the most?
So clearly,
politicians.
You are worried about that law, and you feel that something must be done about it.
It should be repealed.
On the back of that, recently the media coalition made up of, the GJ, NMC, if I can, Prem Park, they came out with a press conference and they talked about also the abuse of media freedom. Are you concerned, as an investigative journalist, what we're actually witnessing on our airwaves now? Do you think that we need some sanity? Sincerely?
Yes, we do, because I say it undermines the media freedom. When we count on the public to be on our side, but if that freedom is abused and the public gets fed up, the politicians generally don't like us. They tend to like us when they're in opposition. But in government, when they control the state machinery, they don't like us. So if we don't guard that freedom and we exercise it irresponsibly, and then those who are supposed to fight for us get fed up, we don't have much to rely on. Because sometimes you are in public and then something happens. Sometimes in a public transport, then somebody just sit down, so Ghana Center for the way Jimmy, because
so a blanket statement.
A blanket statement. Well, Ghanaian journalists are useless, and you can tell that person, oh, I'm different. No, we are all journalists. So what I'm trying to say is that, look, we have the freedom. It is not as we wanted it to be or as it used to be, but those who exercise it irresponsibly are also undermining it.
Interesting. We'll stay with you on investigative journalism. I mean, we all know it involves risk, and you've taken many of them. How do you navigate the potential dangers associated with your work, Manasseh?
Well, one cannot be too careful. I think with this kind of journalism, you have to be driven from within. The hatred for injustice. Once that fire is burning, sometimes I finish an investigation and I look back and begin to realize some very stupid steps I took because I feel, no, you went too far. I know that some of our colleagues from the West, when they are coming here to do, I have done stories with some of them. They come in groups. Sometimes they are security briefings. They have backups. Some have some GPS and other things that their newsroom knows the exact location they are at every point in time. Here it isn't so. One person goes to Bolga, takes a car, crosses to Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, goes to confront a contractor who says, look, everybody in this country knows my family, very powerful. This contractor gets aggressive, seizes his recorder, he has to almost get it back. Very vulnerable. If anything happened to me, the embassy that would have protected me was the people, the embassy I was going to expose. So you look back and you realize that no, some of the things we do here, we put ourselves in so much risk.
Any particular instance where you did a significant story and upon hindsight, you feel that, well, I shouldn't have done this. Maybe yes for the regrets, but also your own safety. Any story like that?
All the stories I've done, I don't look back and regret not doing them.
No regrets?
No.
Any story that you've done?
No.
abusuafo nyina tie awerɛhosɛm a Manasseh Azure de to abɔnten. Nsɛm a wɔka no emu owuram yie paa. Just say we reveal all the email messages, threats. Just say yasa money date, ni deadline. Saa nneɛma no nyinaa bɛkɔ so. Ɔmbɛ eliminate no efiri ase, just be gyina efiri ase. Just say ni nyinaa yɛ awerɛhosɛm paa. No wɔkyerɛ sɛ during GM time, GM era no ofili save as compared to now no. Ne kwa de nye kra. Just national security people at the head kanapampo provided the state security the emano. And so or say ono do on kase akufo na dia ban so na so no maybe a twem na nye sanity ono no buy na sane mani nyina pp. Aden your president boy itimi kana asem e boss itimi kana asem ana. No here see the was who do see kana asem na when he said this government abuse power because or make some statements be HSA beyond some Mr. Thompson can never be a day FRA the government no the kwanya ye deal more fast no in the right way. Though you can make your case, but through the process of making your case one for the right process in this one maybe I no deep more. Na sounds one for the right process in it no. Na for the crampo don't want be he as a way the for crampo. Obi aka asema for no no kra. Go make a case the neko court. No che the way step by be fast so abeto no crampo no. No cran enya kra no. And so during the opposition no. Na more opposition. Mon crowd fucking can same be breed see GM. Ya mfama afasa akwan so. The press freedom no akwa echiri ye kudi echiri kura as compared to AGM time. So that time no kura na press freedom no just say your freedom word no rank here say ye pa no ye journalist for no more freedom no pono. Na akofo the general kase there be any san ye say ye no. Ne hwe bi akwa akudi. Ano di we okay. And yes no almost very preaching misinformation, disinformation. Through that, na kasa crampo no. Na chema want to make cancer ma enya no kre. Efa prof jina no pokwa jima. Through that, na kasa na go fado cancer ma oni nyina so se opposition ha trade a japade document no. No aka to ho and that occasion as a speech na a honor de kase misinformation, disinformation. Tina GM say moho and there was a moshesa a jumedi free. Manasseh Azure is when you save and we will leave it until when you save. Said the AC Tatano a in a free assay and yas and get I have for 1 G, but more than 7 subscribe minds like in a shame on your inside.